Hello and welcome to the Demo Gaming YouTube channel. I'm the Earth God and today is a very special day as I'm starting a new series where I play ranked, record it, and show my progress as well as some of the problems I need to address and get better on. Each video I will show at least my last 10 ranked games, and I guarantee if you guys watch the full video and compare what I learned to your games, you should be able to climb as well. The reason that I decided to actually do this is that I want to grind ranked this season, but I can't upload exactly a lot and do it at the same time. I'll continue to upload guides around maybe once a week or less. Okay, so unfortunately Plays.tv decided to take a crap on me this game. So the first game wasn't actually recorded through my perspective. I still have it on the League client, which is good. There is actually one more game that I believe that didn't get recorded. The quality is also not stunning, so I'm gonna have to be patient and buy an Elgato in the future if I really want some better quality. Game 1 was very bad. I ended up playing Warwick and I barely played him during the preseason, which just led to a huge disaster. I also wasn't used to the ranked environment, so I played very poorly and ended up losing the game. Some of my mistakes were playing way too aggressive. In this part, I actually played like a dumbass and it got me and my mid laner killed. Although I think my mid hesitated too much in the roam, which allowed Zed to burst her, but I should have just realized it's better to play safe than risk it since I wasn't paying attention to where Darius actually was. And since I thought he was still in lane and that he was coming to kill me, I basically suicided into the enemy. So that was unfortunate and I need to work on aggressive plays like that. After that, I kept playing way too aggressive. I also wasted time ganking top when I should have prioritized bot because a fed Nautilus isn't going to do that much, and even if a Nautilus feeds, at least I have a fed ADC who I can peel for, sorry. And with the bot lane, yeah, of course it's easier to pick up first tower and dragon. Playing so bad resulted in a 15-minute loss, leaving my score with a shattering 2-7, which is really bad. So to sum up this game, I shouldn't have played too aggressive and I should have started top side and worked my way bot side to apply pressure instead of just going for random kills that do nothing later on in the game. So game 2 was a little bit better and much different. So this time I decided to play Sejuani. Unfortunately, I don't have this recording either since Plays.tv decided to randomly delete it. Sejuani is really strong currently, and people say Rammus is also a really strong tank, but I really just don't like his playstyle, so I try to avoid him as much as possible. So something that happened in this game that was really important that I think all junglers should actually know and do is when the enemy team invades you, usually the enemy jungler is with them, so if he's in the bottom side of the map, right, trying to invade you, if you're on the bottom side, but usually they invade through that side, it means that he's either going to start his blue or my red, which is fine. It's early enough in the game where all I have to do is go to his red. Even if he steals my red, at least I traded the buffs. It's really important that you know this because when I was playing my Nasus top series, I had a jungler who got invaded, and instead of trading buffs, for some reason, he just kept walking to his buff and dying. So I don't know why the enemy team just didn't take my buff this game, but it worked better for me because there was a ward on my red which allowed me to see Hecarim actually going into my red buff. So all I had to do was just ping my team to kill him with me. It was pretty funny since my Vayne actually blamed dying a 1v2 because my support actually roamed and helped me kill Hecarim. If you're the enemy team in this situation, you need to take my buff. Now, I don't know why this would play out in the higher elos because the enemy jungler could have just took my buff with his team and then pinged his top laner to go ahead and ward his buff, which would have just screwed me over completely. So if you're on the enemy team and you're invading, take the buff. Don't just randomly leave. Oh, I didn't get a kill and just leave. That's really retarded. In this next play, I ganked top and I got overly aggressive, but I didn't think that we could lose a 2v2 since Hecarim didn't have his E or W since I already see him use it. But that's fine. Next time I'll just back off. I got lucky that I didn't actually die since I guess Camille just didn't want to engage. Other than that, I didn't really do that bad. Of course, there was stuff that I could work better on. But I don't want this to be like an hour-long video, even though there'd be a lot of juicy ads, but I don't think I could sit through the whole thing, so I'm not going to make you guys sit through the whole thing. I might as well talk about one thing that impacted the game, although I was lucky, and I probably didn't do a good play. So instead of going to bot, I went to mid to gank, and since I did that, my bot lost their tower, and Zed didn't follow up properly, so I ended up getting the kill. Later on in the game, Zed was able to carry us, but I should have paid more attention and just ganked bot lane instead. I did my job later on in the game, landing ults on high priority targets, and my final score was around 7-5-21, and we ended up winning the game. In game 3, during champ select, I thought we had enough tanks, so instead of going Sejuani, I went Jax. We already had Malphite, Tom, and Vladimir, and they're all pretty tanky. And worst case scenario, as a Jax, you can build tanky. I was pretty scared of this game since they did have a Nasus in the first few minutes. Go in for a counter gank top, but it was a bit unfortunate. I could have played this way better. And what ended up happening was that I queued in as Lee queued, so I got hit by the Q. I did kill Darius, but I tried to kill Lee when I should have just ran, and Lee did get a double. Lee ganked top again, so I went again for a counter gank. This time I managed to kill Lee and almost killed Nasus, but he flashed out. And I got to push the wave to deny Nasus a bunch of farm while giving me more golden XP. And since Nasus already used TP after I killed him from before, he had to actually walk back to lane, missing even more minions. After that, I kind of just cleared and walked around since my bot was pushing so much. I got low ganking Zoe, and something important to note that I knew Lee would try to invade me, and since he saw me going into the jungle through the minions, I was hesitant, and it turns out that I was right, and Lee tried to kill me. Luckily, I dodged his Q and escaped. Since bot killed Lee, I soloed Dragon, and my bot lane was doing really good by themselves, so I went top to deny Nasus more. The game was pretty much over at this point. All I had to do was engage and take objectives. I didn't make that many mistakes because my bot lane just did so good, and I won that game going 8-5-7. In game 4, I played Sejuani again. Actually, I only played Sejuani and Jax for pretty much the rest of my placement games. And this game, I made a lot of mistakes. I invaded the enemy jungle, and Jarvan found me and chased me into my jungle while I was low. And I successfully actually ran away, and I pinged my team to collapse and kill him. But I guess they just didn't want to kill Jarvan. And while Jarvan was in the bush, he queued me. And since he was in the bush, it was invisible. And then he smited, which killed me. And it surprised the fuck out of me. I think my team should have actually went in and killed Jarvan. But I also shouldn't have died there either. And Jarvan pretty much has a good escape with his EQ anyways. And even if my team did go in to collapse on Jarvan, I don't think I should have walked back near the bush. I helped Ryze kill Fizz, but at the cost of my bot lane again, which means I have a problem of priority ganking, which I will work on in the next video. I mean, I saved Ryze and we killed Fizz, but it's not worth my bot lane losing. After that, I kept engaging with my ult when my team was behind, so they couldn't kill the players I ulted, which is fine. This game I should have prioritized bot, and when I'm behind, I should only use ult to actually peel instead of engaging on the enemy team. I lost this game going 3-4-3. As for game 5, I went for the Sejuani pick again this game, and I went to clean up top lane after Cho'Gath got killed. I also ganked bot a little bit more this game, which is better. A mistake I made was engaging on Jarvan when he was counter jungling my bot side. I thought my bot would come to help, but they didn't, since I guess their one wave hitting the tower was more important. But anyways, I guess it was still my mistake for not listening to mid's MIA pings, and I found myself in a position where Katarina came and killed me, and the enemy bot lane was really close, so even if my bot lane decided to come a little too late, they probably would have died also. Anyways, my bot lane didn't die because they didn't, roam, which is, I guess, isn't the worst thing, but the enemy did pick up a dragon. I always get tilted after I do something pretty stupid and my team flames me. Something that I do if I get tilted is just mute everyone, and that helps me focus more. I ended up doing this most of the games I actually played because I get flamed a lot, and I won most of them. So it's important to notice that when you're tilted, you always mute your team if you think they can tilt you more. I learned my mistake from the previous games, so I kept ganking bot, which gave us first tower, and then we proceeded to win the game with my end score at 2-2-8. The game ended around 20 minutes. In game 6, we were up against a tanky team, so I went Jax, and Jax is really good against tanks. And I went for an early gank on mid, which I gave Karthus the kill, because I don't know exactly how that matchup goes, and plus a fed Karthus is really scary. I made sure to gank bot, and after I got the kill, I went ahead and placed a pink ward in the tri bush, which is something I actually should do more so bot lane doesn't get ganked as easily. I didn't make that many mistakes actually this game, but when I went for a counter gank, I wasted Azir's flash, but then for some reason I tried to turn on Dr. Mundo when Karthus didn't want to go in, and I didn't respect Azir's range, so I got chunked, and then of course I got flashed on and died. I'm starting to notice, of course, that the players in ranked will always go for the safer play regardless if it's the right play or not, which means I should play more passive as well and stop giving away free kills even though if it's not a bad play. And I should always assume that when I go in that I won't need any help from my team. I kept going for bot lane ganks since that's pretty much the golden ticket for climbing. Now if you're playing Jax or another champion that can go through walls like Kayn or Sejuani, you should path like this, so even if the enemy has wards, it'll be too late for them to actually react to your gank. A little bit later on, I actually got pretty tilted from this play, so I dived top lane and we got Maokai to recall, which is good. So I went for the turret, but after Maokai started to TP back, Trent hesitated when we could have cancelled his TP and got the tower. But then after that, he didn't help me kill Maokai either. So I got the turret and killed Maokai, but we ended up killing each other. But if Trent helped, I wouldn't have died. But I guess that's fine. But this just really shows how passive people play in ranked. I mean, I get it since everyone wants to win, but playing too passive will lose you advantages. But it wasn't too bad since I did end up killing Maokai and ended up winning the game in the end since bot lane was really fed because of the pressure I applied earlier. Game 7 was a mess. It was just a mess all around. In the beginning, I couldn't get a good gank off. I also prioritized top too much and got 1v2'd and killed me, which was a huge mistake. Now, I don't know why Gangplank didn't use his barrels, which ended up really bad for me. So I decided to stay away from top lane, and this is a good thing. If you notice that the player is incapable of like following up with you on a gank, just back off and don't gank them. Now don't get me wrong, it was my fault as well, but it's just something that I noticed. I wasted too much time on top lane and gave him a free kill. My ADC got killed because of Xerath and Israel's crazy poke and range later on. And there wasn't much that I could do about it even though I was near bot side. So just in case, I went ahead and started to clear golems. And Mundo, to my luck, tried to dive the support, so I went in and killed Xerath. I tried to kill Mundo, but he popped ult, and it's pretty much impossible to kill a Mundo with ult. And it turned into a bit of a clown fiesta, and they summoned the Rift, so we partied a bit down there, and I had no mana, so I couldn't really do that much. But I did stop them from getting the turret, which wasn't too bad. Then I pretty much counter-ganked Mundo and caught out players with my ult for the rest of the game. Now this game was really messy and I thought we were going to lose since they won a team fight and started Baron. But this is when we turned the game actually. Since I was still alive, I went in and I stole Baron from them. And my team cleaned up and we won the game from there. For some reason, instead of finishing me off, they kept trying to do Baron, which led to actually them losing the game horribly. So if you're doing Baron and the enemy jungler comes, stop doing Baron and then just go ahead and kill them and then return to it, or if the enemy is coming or on their way, just back off. Alright, so let's talk about game 8. In game 8, I went for an early gank on top, which I should have probably not done since Vi showed up and then killed Riven, and I should have ran away, but my dumbass stayed for some reason and they just dived me and killed me also. So after that horrible play, I continued with my golden ticket of ganking bot and applying pressure. I tried ganking top after that and we almost killed Tryndamere, and then we were greeted with a clown fiesta with a Yas TP, and then we almost killed him, but then Vi also showed up and then I had to recall, but the enemy did overstay, so Riven got a triple kill. And like Sejuani every single game, I just catch people off guard with my ult and counter gank. Tryndamere kept split pushing, which made it very difficult for us to actually team fight since he could 1v1 Riven and then he would just get towers and stuff. We ended up winning the game because Tryndamere tried diving a Nexus turret and Riven killed him, and then my team cleaned up the enemy team, and then we just ran it down mid and won the game. Alright, in game 9, man, this sounds kind of repetitive, but I'll get better at this. So in game 9 I played Sejuani again because I'm winning so much with her. And the enemy team was actually all AD, so I could stack like a bunch of armor and just screw them over in the late game. I did get invaded by Yi, and the bad thing was that I knew I was going to get invaded by Yi, but I didn't take the right approach to what I should have done. And what I should have done was I should have warded this bush and then dragged it to the opposite side towards the mid lane instead of staying in the bush like an idiot and dying to his invade. Since feeding a good Yi can lead to a pretty horrible game, not to mention that I also burned Flash, and it was just horrible. After that, I continued with my golden ticket of ganking bot lane, and we ended up killing the ADC and support, although I think Trist should have escaped, but she was high on something and ended up using W to actually go back into us after her support was already dead, instead of using it to escape, which is really fucked up. I also made a pathing error where I should have realized that my ult was up as Sejuani and that the enemy bot was pushing as well. So what I should have done was I should have just went straight to bot and then tried to gank, because there was a chance that I could have maybe saved my bot from Yasuo going there and, you know, killing them. But my plan during the game was to start top side, clear my way to bot side, and then gank. But what I should have done is just fuck farm, kind of, go bot side, gank, and then I clear my top side, then I go top side, and then I go ahead and get vision on the enemy jungle and then see if I can gank any lane. The game went on for 30 minutes and I stacked a lot of armor and Camille popped off, and we ended up winning the game, which is good. Alright, game 10. This is the last game of my placements. Finally, this video is almost over. It's probably really long and boring, but hopefully you learned a little bit. So at the last game I went Jax because we already had an Alistar and Sion. I went for a gank top in the early game and we killed Akali, and Xin tried to counter gank, but he showed up a little too late to the party, so Sion ended up getting a double kill, which is actually not that good since Sion doesn't really snowball that well, and he didn't really use the gold that well at all. My bot lane kept pushing a lot, which made ganking them impossible. So all I could have done for them was just like place a pink ward and ward for them. I eventually dived the enemy bot since Caitlyn wasn't there and my bot was pushed up. We successfully killed Sona, but then Caitlyn showed up and I thought I could kill her too, and I engaged and I was barely in the tower range, and then I died, unfortunately, which is a horrible play on my part. Tristana did manage to kill Caitlyn, but what I should have done, I should have just ran away, since I didn't know where Xin Zhao was, and that could have ended really badly, maybe my bot lane dying. So Veigar died in lane to Vlad, and Vlad was really weak, so it allowed me to kill Vlad and clean it up. And I also pushed the wave, and for some reason, actually this isn't a bad play by Xin Zhao. He showed up, got some minions, but I was to level up on him and he pushed a little too far, and I just went ahead and jumped on him and killed him. From there on, I kept diving the enemy with Alistar pretty much, since I was pretty much so ahead in gold, and from there our team fighting was a lot better. Although Sion was starting to, you know, get really weak as the game went later. A huge mistake that should have lost us the game. I hate saying that we should have lost the game because of something I did, but we went ahead and caught out Sona, and then we started Baron. I saw that the Blast Cone was still there, and I didn't want Xin Zhao to go and try to steal Baron with it, so I hopped over the wall, and then I was going to use the Blast Cone to go back into the Baron pit, and then Xin Zhao would have no chance of stealing unless he flashed in or just walked through us. And instead of using the Blast Cone to go back into the pit, I accidentally threw myself into the enemy team. In the future, I have to make sure to do this a lot better, since if Caitlyn used her traps, but she didn't because she's bad, I would have died for sure, and they would have gotten Baron. Luckily, that didn't happen, and from there we just won the game. So, to summarize what I need to work on, and what you guys maybe might need to work on as I play ranked to figure out like what I need to do more. So I need to apply pressure more and gank bot way more. I also need to ward and place more pinks around carrying lanes, playing less aggressive, and I also need to work on my pathing, and then using my ult to peel instead of engaging as a Sejuani when I'm fighting from behind, because obviously if I engage, leave my carries open to their carries, and then it's just a horrible mess. And there's probably a lot more that I have to go over, but those are the main ones I need to focus on. For the next video, I'm gonna try to work on that a little bit better, and yeah, we'll see how far I can climb with this series. And you guys should be able to learn a lot if you're a jungle main. If you're not a jungle main, this is probably useless. Holy shit! I just went 8-2 in placements. I have no idea what rank I'm actually at. Hopefully, it's a good rank. I don't know. It's probably going to be somewhere in gold. Alright, let's see. Oh shit. Alright. Gold 3. Okay, so that's not too bad. That is not too bad. And plus I need to get used to ranked anyways, so it'll be good for me to kind of warm up and then climb through gold 3 and up. So whew, that's pretty good. I did go 8-2. So yeah, my MMR is probably really good. Yeah, that's the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and see you guys later.